drug activity or something?
Yes, unfortunately, the hotel that I'm at,
Which one you at?
it's not really my choice to be there. I'm at the extended stay, uh, suburban extended stay hotel at 522 Silver Slipper Lane, Tallahassee, Florida 32303.
I know it well.
The
Yeah, that's not the best place.
it really isn't.
How'd you end up over there?
When I first got here, I tried to find an inexpensive place to stay because I'm a college student. I'm studying law. Not the richest person in the world either, but I find it very important to be healthy and have a healthy living environment. It's important just so I could at the least be able to focus on studying and graduating, and not getting sick in the process of while I'm trying to accomplish that. The hotel that I found just recently was the extended stay hotel, suburban extended stay. So I'm in room 164. There's several occasions where I'd be harassed by people that are outside of my room, and the windows are covered, the doors are closed, the chain link is on the door. So there's obviously some kind of electronic device inside the room. And I was able to narrow that down because there's a glare on my camera every time I record in my room, so that identifies that there's a camera somewhere in there. But the place is so disgustingly built and aged, it's hard for me to identify exactly where that camera could be. And there's always people outside making
How long
comments.
you been there?
Been there for about a couple weeks now.
That's actually a shelter.
Yeah, I see a lot of Mexican people in and out of there. There's a busload of Mexican people across the street, literally coming from that hotel, getting on a bus. So it looks like it might be like a FEMA location. It could be several different types of things.
Well, we know what it is. I mean, we know it turned into a shelter.
It looks like it could be. But there's also a lot of drug
Yep.
activity going on there, a lot of narcotic selling, prostitution.
Yep.
And there's a lot of people who would be outside of my room commenting on things that I'm doing inside my room, and there's no way possible that they're able to do that unless there's some kind of electronic device that they have access to that's inside my room. As I stated to you, the windows are covered and the doors are locked and closed. And the situation today, particularly, I was sleeping in my bed in the privacy of the room with the door locked. I was naked in the bed sleeping. For several reasons. The room is hot. I don't turn on the air conditioning because it's dirty. And I was sleeping, like I said, in the privacy of my room. Somebody opened my room door and said, "Oh shit, oh hell no," and they closed the door back again. Now, usually when the cleaning woman comes around in the morning to clean people's room, she'll knock on the door and say housekeeping, and I always say no thank you. And she has a habit of, after I say no thank you, she'll say it again, housekeeping, and I'll say it again at the same tone, no thank you, and she'll leave. So particularly today, somebody opened the door and they said, "Oh shit, oh hell no," and they closed the door. So I put on my clothes, I walked outside, immediately I smelled the smell of Mexican methamphetamine. They call it Flocka in South Florida. The smell was disgustingly strong, and I found out that the people at the end of the hallway were smoking it, so the smell was traveling throughout the entire building. There was children across the street at the pool, and that smell obviously carried on there, because it's right across the street. And another thing too, there's cracks underneath my door where there's smoke and air that's able to seep into my room where bugs are crawling in. And I was trying to figure out why I kept farting all day and all night. And I found out that's because people are outside of my room smoking cigarettes and smoking narcotics, and it's making me fart. People who don't smoke, eventually they're able to identify that's why they're constantly farting, because there's a smoke coming into a closed area where they are, and if they don't smoke, it makes them fart.
What brought you up here today?
So all of those things, and then also the fact that when I walked outside, I tried to see exactly who opened my door for several reasons, because
If it's locked, how do they get in?
I don't know. They could have used one of those
The key card
skull
wouldn't work.
skull card keys. They have them. It's magnetic. But they can open the door with a magnet. It's that cheap. But there was a burgundy vehicle that was right in front of my door, and they were selling narcotics. They were transporting an individual who was selling narcotics.
What kind of burgundy vehicle?
It looked like a small Nissan. It could have been a Nissan Sentra, like a small little 4-door or 2-door. No, it was a 4-door because there was 2 people sitting in the front.
Was
It could have been
Nissan,
two.
older model, newer model?
It looked like one of those round body type newer model Nissans, burgundy, shiny burgundy paint, clean paint on it. The individual who was selling the narcotics was a muscular African American, muscular black male with short dreads. He had his pants sagging, he had on jeans, and I witnessed him hand a small white bag to a fat, young-looking white girl who spoke Ebonics very well and was very loud and outspoken. As soon as I saw them, I shook my head like this and I turned the other way because he made a comment. He said, "I'll beat the shit out your ass," because he saw I was looking at him, obviously. And then after he handed her the narcotics, she started walking upstairs, and then he turned around and said, "Oh, you know I love you." And I'm looking at them like, are these people sick in the head, or what's wrong with these people? And then he gets in the vehicle and leaves. The fat white girl walks upstairs to the end of the hallway and starts smoking Mexican methamphetamine, flakka, with 2 elderly black men. They were smoking in little cigar joints. The smell was incredibly strong. I was trying to find out exactly who opened my door, though, still at that point. I didn't see the cleaning woman in the room next door. I didn't see the cleaning woman anywhere. But I saw the maintenance man who I asked to clean my air conditioning a few days prior, and I gave him a Publix gift card for $11 to buy a sub and a drink and some chips because he cleaned my air conditioning. I literally turned on my air conditioning for 5 minutes and I got a sore throat and I felt sick because of how dirty it was. I immediately turned it back off, and I didn't turn it on that entire week because I knew it was dirty. But that particular day was really hot in the room. So I appreciated the fact that he cleaned it. I gave him a Publix gift card. So when I saw him today, when I walked outside, he immediately said, "Hey," he was real nervous because he saw I witnessed them selling narcotics, and there was narcotics in the air, obviously, and somebody just opened my room door. And he was very nervous. He said, "Hey, thank you for that Publix gift card." And I was like, "Yeah, you're welcome." I said, "But what's going on, man?" Niggas open. I said, people are opening up niggas' doors. Y'all smoking muck? What's going on? And he said, and I said, he didn't know what to say. He was scared because it was a large black man, there selling narcotics and all that. People in the vehicle. I said, "Listen, man, I need somebody to sweep and mop my room, and I need somebody to change the linen and the bed comforter." He said, "Okay, let me get the cleaning woman." The supervisor cleaning woman came from across the street, and I asked her the same thing. I said, "What's going on? People are opening up niggas' doors, and y'all out here smoking muck." And she's like, "Oh, those are the guests." But I said, "Who opened up my door?" He said, "It was a cleaning woman. She opened up the wrong door. She was cleaning the room next door." She said, "She's cleaning the room next door." So I looked in the room next door. It was completely empty. I said, "Where is she?" She said, "I don't know. She went around the corner somewhere." So I stayed outside until she arrived. I walked around the building. I didn't see her anywhere. She was across the street at the office, on the office side. So it could have been anybody that opened my door. And it sure as hell could have been them working directly with the people who were selling narcotics and trying to plot, plan, and strategize to see how vulnerable I was to rob me. Now, literally the day prior, yesterday, there was people standing outside my room harassing me, and they were commenting on things that I was doing in my room with my door closed. Now, I turned on the police dispatch app on my phone and turned it up real loud so they could hear like a police dispatch and, feel, some sort of intimidation to just leave from in front of my door because they were smoking, they were making noise, they were making comments about what I was doing inside my room. Instead of me walking outside and confronting them and possibly, getting shot or, God forbid anything bad. So I turned on the police dispatch. They quieted down, but I could still hear them talking outside and smoking. Literally, I got up real quietly and slowly. There is no possible way that they could have heard me get up that slowly and be about to open the door for them to run and hide in the room. As soon as I opened the door, they all ran inside their rooms. And I casually walked outside and threw out the garbage. I had a bag of garbage, I threw it in the garbage can, just to nonchalantly, try to act like, I didn't know what they were doing. And then the next day, somebody opens my room door. Now that's today, yeah, that's today. And then usually though, when that cleaning woman knocks on the door, she'll knock on the door.
What would you like for us to do?
Okay, so the situation with the narcotics.
We know all about that.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure the maintenance people do. Obviously, they're well aware of the cleaning situation.
We're aware of all the problems over there.
Yeah.
It's nothing new. We're aware of it. We got there's a drug unit over there. They try and monitor and then try and do the best they can, try to clean some of the stuff up when the most activity is. But yes, we're very familiar with all the issues. So I mean, that part we do know, and it's like a chisel. We're just chiseling away at it. So I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost certain it's a Mexican methamphetamine because I smelled that exact same smell in South Florida, and it was a Mexican methamphetamine, and it was an identical smell.
It's not called Mexican methamphetamine.
It's Chinese, but it's coming through a Mexican source in South Florida.
It comes from everywhere nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. But the same smell that I smelled was in South Florida. That's why I'm describing it that way. And when I identified it, I immediately remembered, hey, that's that Mexican methamphetamine smell that I smelled in South Florida that they call flaca. The smell's disgusting, man. I don't smoke. And it's really disheartening also because
So you in 168, you said?
164.
164.
Yeah, it's really disheartening because it's making me sick. It's making children sick that are literally at the pool. They're doing this in broad daylight in the daytime on a Sunday. It's as if it's a loophole for these criminals to do this. They're doing it on a Sunday. This young gentleman here at the police department's front desk, he's saying that the police department's closed on the weekends. So these criminals, they're able to identify all these little loopholes, and they're trying to.
Just 24 hours a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right.
We there, just the offices and all that are closed. That's what he means.
I understand.
Like records and different people are off. So the only place that's open is this. For him to take calls.
I understand.
So it will be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, it's necessary that you guys do, because as you can see, it's a reoccurring crime. You know what I mean? And I don't smoke. I don't want to smell that. I'm not,
Did he get your name up front?
You got my name. I asked him for a reference number. He provided me a reference number, everything. He mentioned to call Sergeant Lyon to report it. I asked him if there's somebody I could speak with directly now while I'm here.
I mean, I'm a police officer. I'm just hurt right this second. Yeah, Sergeant Lyon says his office is down. It used to be down there. He might be upstairs now. I forget which one. I think it's down on the left. But we got a couple of different drug units. So I mean, but yes, Sergeant Lyons is one of them.
Okay, yeah, it's necessary. I mean, is there anything else I could do to help?
At this time, no. I mean, we got all your information, and so far everything you told us, we very, very familiar with.
Okay.
We know it's an issue. But like I said, it's like a chisel. We're just trying to chisel away out of it.
Okay.
I mean, you get one person, then somebody else steps up and takes their place.
Right.
I mean, it's never ending. Ever since they kind of turned that into like a homeless shelter, like a shelter. All the issues in there.
So the large fat white girl, she made a comment. Literally, when I walked at the end of the hallway and I looked up at the two elderly black men who were smoking the flaca with her, and I asked them, I said, "Are y'all all right?" They didn't respond. They just looked at me sad and kept smoking like this. But then the fat white girl, she started yelling and screaming, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. That motherfucker ran off with my bomb." she was becoming theatrical, trying to portray herself as if they didn't exchange money for the narcotics, and he robbed her for the narcotics. And then she said, that fuck nigga was supposed to cash at me my money, da-da-da-da. And then she acted like she called him on the phone and said, motherfucker, bring back my bomb, you ain't cash at me. So they were sitting there trying to orchestrate a little scenario as if they didn't exchange money, because they obviously knew that I was going to complain about what they were doing.
Right.
And, it's annoying. It's really annoying. And it's disheartening also, because I've got 2 young daughters. My youngest is 2 years old. My oldest is 15.
I hope they're not at that place, are they?
They're not at that place, no, but at the same time, the smell of the narcotics, just the mental anguish, the fact that it's slowing me down from accomplishing all of my necessary living necessities and goals, it's affecting them directly, because, they need me sooner than later. You understand? And also have a family. I have parents that are elderly, uncles and aunts that are elderly, cousins, nieces. You understand? I have peers. I have peers that are my family's peers. We're all depending on each other. So it's just it's a very serious problem, and I feel like I'm inclined to do everything I possibly could. Me just having this conversation with you, is very important. But I feel like there's something more I should be doing. You know what I mean? I just don't know what. I just don't know what else to do.
You got to pick up an application. So but yeah, citizens are the eyes and ears. Without y'all, we can't. We just look better people. So y'all see it all and y'all hear it all. We don't. We come after the fact. So it's unless y'all reporting stuff, we don't know it all. Now there's some stuff we do know, like we already know that silver slippers are a major issue. We've known that is. However, we hadn't got a wrap on it yet. But like certain intel about this person driving a burgundy Nissan and it's a black male, muscular build. Those kind of like details that we need, but need to know.
She also made a comment after she started making those threatening comments about killing him, and or possibly trying to intimidate me, as if she was indirectly saying she was going to kill me. She mentioned that the individual is on community control. So that individual could have possibly been on community control.
Yeah.
There's cameras at the hotel. I saw there were several cameras in the office.
They got cameras, but obviously they let a lot of this stuff go. They do. It's because the government's paying them.
Who's paying them?
The government.
The government's paying them?
Because they pay for all the housing. Or at least state of Florida's paying them. Because it's a government housing.
So, just to show you how serious I am and how honest I'm being with you, I purchased a camera, one of those home surveillance cameras, Wi-Fi cameras from Walmart the other day, because this kept happening. And I also purchased another cell phone just to be able to monitor the Wi-Fi camera while I'm, training and I'm not in the hotel room, because they're obviously able to hack my iPhone. So I purchased an Android. I've yet to connect the Android or the camera yet, but I purchased it. I also purchased a warranty through Walmart, all those things. So I'm being honest with you, and I'm trying to do everything I possibly could. It's just, and I appreciate you mentioning, I should pick up an application. But I honestly don't know what more to do other than to get as involved as possible. You know what I mean? And I feel as if I didn't do those things, I'd be doing an injustice to my daughters at the least, let alone my family and our peers.
Thank you. The sound is, just keep reporting stuff. If you need it, hey, I think these people sound good, but you also can swing by. You don't have to make contact with you, because, you don't want to be labeled a snitch or whatever. They try to target you out of revenge, but you can always just, we need to call you, or you can say, no, I don't want to leave my information, but here's what I'm seeing. And then we try to get an officer out there as soon as possible.
No problem. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, sir, I could care less what somebody calls me. They could call me a snitch. They could call me.
Well, we just don't want you, your family.
To be
your
retaliated
family,
against.
But the family needs you.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, we don't want nothing to happen to you.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, absolutely. But here's the thing. It's gotten to a point where I'm fed up with it to such an extent that being retaliated against, because it's happened so many times to me, it's as if I've become immune to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've developed a thick skin, as they would say. So now it's to a point where it's either they're going to shoot me or they're not. And if they don't, I'm gonna lock them up, or I'm gonna try my best to lock them up.
Right.
It's something I feel like I have to do because when I was younger, when I was my daughter's age, there wasn't too many people that I knew directly that would do what I'm doing for me. And I see how important that is to have people who are doing what I'm doing for them at their age, because there wasn't people like me when I was younger standing up for me. I just followed that same crowd that I'm reporting right now to you, and it really messed up my life quite a bit.
It does. I agree with you 100%. All right, let's give us a shout then.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Feel better.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. What's your name?
John
John.
Hanberry.
Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem, sir.